Taxes. The one thing more certain than death and losing a sock in the laundry. How do societies pay for schools, hospitals, and the weirdly expensive roads? You guessed it, taxes. How do societies get furious enough to block those roads with flaming tires? Also, taxes. So, what's the deal with taxes? How do they shape our societies? And more importantly, where have they messed things up so badly people riot in the streets? Let's find out. Until the 1900s, most governments collected less than 10% of national income. Then violent things called world wars happened, plus the idea that citizens should get education and healthcare. And governments got greedy. I mean, responsible. Tax takes exploded through the 20th century and built modern welfare states. Since the 1980s, rates stabilized, but at levels way higher than pre-war. Taxes build schools, hospitals, pensions, and all those fancy social safety nets. They reduce income inequality and let people work less to eat more. Pretty heroic, right? Today, some countries collect 40% plus of GDP in taxes. If we look at the chart, it shows, barring a few exceptions, that developed nations pay more taxes. Countries that collect 30 to 45% of GDP in taxes tend to be happier, healthier, and wealthier. So, pay up. Or at least pretend. It turns out you do need other people's money to have a decent life. But if we check history, it's peppered with revolts against unfair taxation, from the Magna Carta to the French Revolution. Whenever rulers got too greedy with taxes, bad things happened. Boston Tea Party? Because of taxes. French Revolution? Taxes. Indian Revolt of 1857? Taxes. Fast forward to today, and we've got the yellow vests in France protesting fuel taxes and Kenyans shouting no bread tax. Governments learn the hard way. Taxing people wrong can blow up in your face. Tax me, but don't tax me wrong or I'll bring the pitchforks. Oh, and the rich? When taxes get too high, they pack their bags and move to friendlier tax beaches, taking their money with them. Because why pay Uncle Sam when Uncle Bahamas is waiting? The 1%'s not paying their fair share isn't because they're lazy, it's because they're just really good at hide and seek. So, how much is too much? Economists talk about something called the Laffer curve. Fancy name, simple logic. If taxes are too high, the rich leave on private jets, the poor hide cash under mattresses, and the government collects nothing. If taxes are too low, well, the country runs out of money faster than a crypto bro in a bear market. So, what's the sweet spot for tax rates? Studies say emerging economies do best with taxes around 18 to 19% of GDP. But try telling that to Scandinavian countries charging 50% and still ranking happiest. Advanced economies can handle around 23%. Push beyond that, and growth slows like your Wi-Fi on a bad day. Corporate taxes? The biggest party poopers for growth. Property taxes? Meh, not so much. Guess which one governments like to hike when they're desperate? Tax too little and you can't build stuff. Tax too much, and your economy throws a tantrum. Now here's the kicker. Even if you set the perfect tax rate, if the government sucks at collecting taxes, it's like holding a lemonade stand during a monsoon. Corruption, weak systems, and a giant informal economy mean that tons of money gets lost or stolen. What's the result? Governments borrow more, debts pile up, and your future taxes might go to pay off loans instead of fixing potholes. Sri Lanka's revenue hemorrhage after sweeping tax cuts is a case study in how poor tax policy plus mismanagement result in crisis. So, taxes aren't evil. Bad tax policy plus bad governance is lethal. Population also matters. India and Nigeria? Millions of people, but a fraction actually pay taxes. Meanwhile, in Denmark, 90% pay taxes, because it's harder to dodge when your population is smaller than Mumbai's railway station at rush hour. Now, governments often do a magic trick. They cut direct taxes like income tax, but crank up indirect ones, like GST, fuel taxes, or tariffs. Want to look popular without actually cutting services? Cut income taxes for the headline and quietly hike VAT. Why, you say? Indirect taxes are easier to collect and harder to dodge. Translation: they don't take from your paycheck. They take when you buy an ice cream. But here's the catch. They hit poor folks harder since everyone pays the same for bread, no matter their salary. So, there you have it. Taxes can build empires or ignite revolutions. Taxes are like your toxic ex. Can't live with them, can't live without them. And no matter what, they'll always find a way to take your money. And hey, don't skip on your taxes, or you might get a visit from the taxman. Or worse, a revolution. Subscribe or I'll send the taxman to your door.